Hey, Dave. Hope you're well. How excited are you just about having the stadium back at full capacity?
Uh, I'm thrilled. It's hard to imagine. It's like an opening day. I think the guys in the clubhouse feel it. We've got the uniforms that are going to be outlined in gold trim, the hats with the World Series logo and gold trim. Um, there's already sort of a buzz going on. So to have 40 plus thousand fans here, it's certainly a competitive advantage. It's going to be a great night for baseball, and a long time coming, well overdue.
Thanks, Dave. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you got it.
Next question is from Jorge Castillo. Go ahead.
Dave, what's the latest with Cody?
Cody is just right now, honestly, he's hit, he's done some running. It's day to day. We're kind of trying to wait as long as we can before we have to make a decision on the IL. I don't think there's much of a cost right now where we're at today. So tomorrow, we'll get to tomorrow and see where we're at. But I don't see him available tonight in any capacity, and we'll just kind of see where he's at tomorrow.
Are you still hopeful he could play maybe tomorrow?
I don't want to put a percentage, but I would probably say unlikely, but I'll hold out a little bit of hope.
Dave, obviously with the memo that was official today, what was your reaction to it? Is that what you expected, that Major League Baseball will go to that extent to maybe even outlaw, sunscreen and limit pitches to rosin?
I do know that Major League Baseball has done a lot of work on kind of gathering baseballs and doing their due diligence and asking players that are in the game currently, players that have played before. And I didn't really know how it was going to shake out. And reading through the memo, putting it in the umpire's hands to kind of check randomly, intentionally, just the rosin allowed to be used. It's going to happen. I think it's next Monday, I think is the date, to get players, pitchers in particular, a chance to kind of really figure out how they can go about it. I am concerned as far as just using the rosin, the different conditions, whether you're in Denver, whether there's humidity, whether it's a cold night in Oakland. There's different situations where you still want the players to feel the baseball. But it's something that it is going to be a level playing field, and that's the goal for everyone. And players on both sides, position players, pitchers want that. So for me, it's just support it and, hope for the best for everyone.
Just a little while ago, Tyler Glasnow kind of went off basically saying that, he has a UCL tear, and he attributed not using sticky, like anything, like sunscreen and rosin last week in a couple starts to that injury. And he was, just really upset the timing of this, and he thinks that pitchers are going to get hurt. Do you share that sentiment, and how can pitchers avoid injury if they're limited to just rosin?
First off, it's very unfortunate to see Tyler go down with any type of injury. He's a very good young pitcher. I love watching him compete. I don't know the correlation. He would know better than I would. My hope is that this is not a sign of things to come. I did say a couple weeks back that to make a change in the middle of the season, I think is difficult and challenging. And that certainly can be debated, but that's not my call. So I outside of that, Jorge, I just don't know what else to say. Again, I hope pitchers can stay healthy, because you always want the best talent on the field. And we want a level playing field.
Thank you, Dave.
Yeah.
Next question is from Fabian Ardaya. Go ahead.
Hey, Dave. It seems like a lot of the conversation around the sport the last few years, even entering this year, has been centered around the ball, be it sort of the characteristics of the ball, and now all of a sudden it's the sticky stuff and the enforcement of that sort of stuff. I mean, how problematic is that, or concerning is that so much of this conversation is centered around sort of like the key piece of equipment in the sport?
I think it's a big problem. And I say that because there's more talent across the board in this game than there ever has been. And 1 through 850, whatever number you want to put on it. And so for us to be talking about the ball and the inconsistencies and this or that, I think it's we're doing the players a disservice, and to be quite frank, we're doing the fans a disservice, because we should be lifting these players up that are just so immensely talented and talking about that instead of other things. But that's just kind of where we're at.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah.
Next question is from Bill Shaikin. Go ahead.
Dave, we've been talking about the ball and the substance issue, as you indicated, for some time. Does today's decision strike you as more proactive or more reactive?
I think it's 100% reactive.
Why?
Reactive.
No, why do you say that?
Because there was, if it wasn't reactive, it wouldn't happen during the middle of a season.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Next question is from Eric Steven. Go ahead.
Dave, was there a change of plans with Yoshi? Notice he wasn't playing for OKC.
I think Yoshi, his luggage didn't make it to OKC in time.
Okay.
There was a little hiccup in transit.
But he's still going to play there eventually at some point this week.
I would assume that it got there ready for tonight's game.
And then, given how you've used the bullpen the last couple nights, I know in the past you've given guys days, like multiple days off after pitching 2 days in a row. Not that you could do that all season, but do you plan to call up any pitching help either tonight or for the last 2 days of the series or something like that?
Not tonight. I don't expect it tomorrow. I do. We're going to stay away from Kenley certainly, and David. But outside of that, we'll kind of read and react on guys how they feel after playing catch.
Great. Thanks, Dave.
Yep.
Last question is from Kyle Glaser. Go ahead.
Hey, Dave, I'm working on a story about Bryce Harper. You coached against him when you were with the Padres, obviously managed against him with the Dodgers. Now that he's in his 10th season, just what do you make of the career he's had and his career so far?
He's one of the best players in the game. There's only a handful of people in modern day baseball that can sort of talk about trying to live up to expectations and anticipation. You can think of Ken Griffey Jr., certainly Bryce, maybe Alex. There's very few guys that were that young coming into the game, and to have that pressure to kind of be the face of an organization, a face of an industry, and to perform. And I love the way he plays the game of baseball. Got to know him a little bit over the years. He's great for the game, and love watching him compete.
Thank you.